Good afternoon, this is Matthew Lindsay with Precision Home Group, and I have Josh Elliott.
Hi.
Here with me today. We're going to start talking about your story. We had Andrew Kirk on a little bit ago. And
Great guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
So great experience. It was a great talk that we had with him, kind of going through his story. I know you were here for that, and so I just love to dig into your story. Different story. So I just want to, the past, kind of follow the same concept. We'll dig into the past.
Okay.
What got you to where you are today? Kind of the storyline there, and then the internal inspirations.
Right.
What keeps you going? What keeps you pushing? What keeps you hungry? And then what are you looking at for the future?
All right. Let's do it.
So we were just talking before we went live here, and you had mentioned that you were in the Marine Corps.
Correct.
And you were there for about 10 years?
10 years in the Marines. Yeah.
Okay.
My job is a combat engineer.
Okay.
It's kind of known as the jack of all trades, masters of nothing. There's a lot of scope of different things that I did while in the Marines.
Gotcha.
And really the two broad fields are mobility and counter mobility.
Gotcha.
So getting things and places and stuff, or stopping things and places and things and enemies and things and stuff.
Okay.
And so that covered, building things and log obstacles and defensive positions, and then also covers explosives and metal detecting and removing mines and tons, just so many different things.
Fun things.
Fun things. But it kept me busy, and it kept everything always kind of new and fresh. And,
Definitely.
And always something to learn, always something to improve yourself and improve your own skills.
Okay. A new challenge.
A new challenge. Always a new challenge.
Gotcha.
For sure.
Awesome. So we did 10 years in there. And then, we started moving forward from there, and we're talking about, what do we do next?
Right.
After that.
Yeah. So I got injured in the Marines.
Okay.
That's how I lost both my legs above the knee, a few fingers on my left hand, multiple internal injuries and stuff, but blessings all along the way, from the team of people that was around me to the medical staff to my family and friends. And
That's
just
awesome.
This huge amount of support and this huge support group behind me. And the least of those that kind of helped me along the way was an incredible experience that I had with God and his kind of a vision really that he gave me and inspired me and kind of took me up, spiritual thing, saw him face to face, he spoke to me, and then I got sent back in a way, and
that must have been an incredible experience.
I mean, if you have an hour or two, I can explain it all. But really, after I got injured, my prayer and my quest was to find what's my purpose now? What do you want me to do? And he gave me this incredible testimony, and then sent me back, and now I'm recovering in the hospital, and I didn't really know where to go from here. So my prayer just became, whatever your will is, whatever the will of God, just use it in my life. Lead me where you want to lead me. Open doors that you want me to go through, closed doors that you don't want me to go through, and I'll just follow, whatever.
Gotcha.
And so in the scope of that, I had a lot of different ideas and a lot of different things that I tried, and a lot of different things going on. And if you were to lay out the options on the table, one of those was flying. And I was like, I want to be a pilot. And this prayer, open doors and closed doors, that door slammed in my face just hard, and I was like, why, God?
I wanted that.
I wanted that so bad. And so at the same time that happened, this option popped up on the table for me that wasn't ever really there before. It wasn't something that I even thought was a possibility. And that's Alpine Skiing. And so I get into Alpine skiing, and it was almost like in this moment of, well, if I can't do that, then I'm just gonna ski. And so skiing became my recovery and became my therapy. And less than a year after being injured, I went cold turkey off all of my medication.
Wow.
I took up skiing as a habit and as a therapy and as trying to recovery, as recovery, both physically and mentally. You know.
It gave you something to do.
Oh man, there's nothing like being on the top of a mountain on a beautiful bluebird day in the Sierra Nevadas or in Alaska or anywhere, and you just see the world in front of you, and oh my gosh, there's nothing like it. And so it became that. And so we were talking a little bit earlier, and the first time I met Andrew Kirka, I had sort of been recruited, and they said, why don't you come up to Mount Hood, Oregon, and try out for this team, this Paralympic Alpine national team, this development program sort of thing. So I said, sure. And that was the first time that Paralympic sport, that option popped up, and I said, I could do this professionally.
There you go.
And I was like, one of those things that just opened up to me, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. So I go up there, and I see Mr. Kirka here, and Tyler Walker, and Lori Stevens, and like Chris Devlin Young, who else was up there? Heath Calhoun, all these guys in monoskis putting down lines on this like steep ice terrain, going through gates, dropping their bucket, almost touching the ground, going 50 miles an hour.
Jeez.
And I was like, I am so out of my league. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. If this is tryouts, they're not going to call me back. You know? And I was blown away. I didn't even realize that the possibilities that had just opened up to me.
Yeah.
And I think there's a stigma when it comes to Paralympic sports or even adaptive sports, anything like that, that, okay, like you're going to use this machine and stuff and it'll get you up and you'll do okay and it's this feel-good thing.
Yeah.
But when you talk about high-level Paralympic sports, it's not a feel-good thing. It's dedication, it's sacrifice, and it's like the amount of time I put on snow or that we put on snow puts us at a level that, I mean, we may not be Olympic level with the able-bodied guys, but outside of that realm, we could probably beat anyone else down the mountain.
What I look at is like there's two parts to that. There's the physical aspect, the mental. I mean, you guys are there mentally and pushing it. You guys know how to push it and consistently push it. And to me, someone who can do that is going to be able to push so much harder than someone with talent or the full physical ability.
Absolutely. And it's just, and so I got the call. They said,
Yeah.
would you like to come out and train and move to Aspen, Colorado? And I don't know who would say no to that. I didn't say no. I said, yes, absolutely, I'll go. This is fantastic. So I went, and it took 7 years. And I set my sights on the 2018 Paralympics.
Okay.
I knew I got injured in 2011. I started skiing in 2012. And the 2014 Olympics was right there.
Gotcha.
And I just kind of knew if I made it to the 2014 Paralympics, it was in Sochi, I would have gone, but I don't think I really would have done well. Like it would have been more of like I'm filling a spot and I'm there and this is a great experience. But I didn't want to go for the experience. I wanted to go to be a contender. I wanted to go that when I left the start gate, people were watching and people knew if I finished, like I was there.
Yeah.
You know, I was top 5. I was in it. You know, this kind of stuff.
Win.
I was there to win. I wasn't going just for the feel good to say, I have a very impressive title. You know, no.
Yeah.
I'm going because I want to. I'm fighting. I want to win. I want to do this. And so the 2018 Paralympics was that goal that I set for myself.
Okay.
And I said, this is where I want to be in 2018. And so Paralympics came this last year.
There you go.
And I was there, and I raced my heart out.
Yeah.
And you know, it wasn't the greatest results. It wasn't,
Okay.
you know, what I really expected. I think for me, the pressure got to me a little bit.
Gotcha.
I got 6th in the super combined.
Okay.
So, I mean, I was there, and then out of the 4 races that I raced, that was the only one I finished. And both the super G aspect of the super combined and the slalom aspect of the super combined, I was having like issues the whole way down the course.
Man.
So if you like go back, you can watch it on YouTube, and like part of the way through Super G, I keep lifting my arm up and like hitting my bucket to like get the thing because it was falling off.
Jeez.
And so I'm fighting with my rig, and then the slalom comes, and I ended up like one of the best speed runs I'd ever had.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't focused on the race, I was just focusing on like almost survival.
Yeah.
And like I'm kept hitting the bucket on, and so I get down, and I ended up 5th at the end of that, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like this is putting me in a really great position because now I have slalom, and that is like my bread and butter. That's my favorite right there. I'm like, I could lose at least 1 place. So like I can get 4th very easily, maybe even 3rd or 2nd. I can get on the podium here. So I leave the start gate in slalom, and I've got gate 4 in slalom. You know, we have the single sticks, and you hit the sticks, and you go at the gates, and it's real quick. And about gate 4, I took one right across the front of the helmet, and it
Jeez.
knocked everything down. And so for the rest of the course, I'm doing this and reaching up and trying to fix my helmet and all this stuff, and I get to the bottom, and I ended up losing a place. And so by the end of the race, I ended up 6th. But
Gotcha.
you know, it was incredible. It was such an incredible experience. And I know, like, when I left the start gate, people were watching. I knew for that whole season and through the World Cup and stuff, I was top 5 skier. I was right up there.
Wow.
And I knew that's where I was at the Paralympics as well. But I only finished 1 out of the 4 events. Got 6th in the world. That's all right.
Pretty,
That's not bad.
Say, I'm 6th in the world. That's pretty incredible.
Very, very cool. And at the end of it, I think what really... That's ominous. It's my tooth tone, actually, since texting. At the end of it, it's more about my testimony and about kind of the experience and what I went through. And I learned real quick that it wasn't so much about results and all these different races and stuff as much as it was about every time I got on a lift or every time I went through the grocery store, every time, you know, I interacted with people, people wanted to know about my legs and wanted to hear my story and talk to me about that, and I was able to witness to them all along the way. And I think for me, that's more important than anything else.
Is that your big why? Just to, you know, to be able to present that to people, to be able to witness to people?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my
I
big
love
why.
it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what are we doing looking forward now? Are we looking forward to keep training, keep pushing, and we're going to get to the next one?
No, now I'm kind of taking a step back from Paralympic sport.
Okay.
I'm set up pretty nicely to continue telling my story and progress forward as an inspirational speaker.
Awesome.
My wife also, during the period that I've been training for the Paralympics, has been going to school. And so she just graduated Point Loma Nazarene University with a double major in Christian ministries and biblical studies.
Wow.
We're looking at going onto the missional field or working with refugees in some manner.
Okay.
And just continuing to help wherever we can in that direction.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So where can people go? Because, you know, if you guys are looking to go do missions or inspirational speaking, and there's lots of different venues that you could go, you know, talking about doors being opened, right?
Absolutely.
So how can people get in contact with you? Say they want you to come speak to their group, their community, their congregation. How can they do that?
I'm found on Facebook.
Okay. So we'll post your information and links
Absolutely.
below.
From Facebook, private message, like Messenger, goes to my phone just like a regular text does. And so I respond really quickly to those for the most part.
Awesome.
I think my phone number is probably on Facebook as well.
Okay.
I answer phone calls. So I'm brave, I guess.
So reach out to him if you want, you know, inspirational speaking, if you want, you know, you have a congregation, a group, maybe it's a sports team, you know.
Absolutely.
Maybe, even if it's a business team, you know, reach out to him if you want him to come speak, you know, about his story, about inspiration, about success. Both speakers today, both you and Andrew, one of the things I love speaking about and working with people is that hunger, the ambition. Working to your potential, you know, just staying hungry and pursuing perfection is what Andrew was talking about.
Absolutely.
And to me, there's nothing better than that. Because once you stop doing that, you're settling.
That's true.
You know, you're just average. You're just kind of giving it up. And I feel like whatever it is, we should always be pushing and striving for our God-given talents.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's my thoughts and my beliefs.
Fantastic.
So, you know, what is the most important, you know, what's one big takeaway you could tell people today? You know, just from this brief interview we've done, what's one piece of advice you'd like to give people?
So, what breaks my heart the most and what, like, I don't know, the biggest advocate for, but, like, it is just right up there on the top for me, is getting involved in a group. Like, you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. Like, if you think you can do it alone, like, there's a small margin of success for that. I'm not saying you can't, but why try to do the same thing over and over? Why try to like do it yourself when there's so many groups, so many organizations out there that are there to help you? I don't think I would have recovered the same without having teammates around me that had gone through the same thing I've gone through, that like pushed me to be better. Yeah. Not even on the snow, like walking on my prosthetics constantly and traveling to different countries on prosthetics and just leave my wheelchair in the corner, you know? And it pushed me to be stronger and be better. And I love skiing. Find out what you love, figure it out for yourself, and find a group for it. Whether it's, you know, basketball or chess or arts and crafts or skiing or whatever, you know, there's organizations and there's groups out there to help you along the way. And as well as enjoying what you're doing, you're also you're gonna find yourself being mentored and being helped out with other things along the way. And soon enough, you're gonna look back and realize that you've started to mentor and help other people behind you. And it's this beautiful cycle that continues. And so, like, don't try to do it alone. You know, find a group, find people that do things that you like to do, and push forward.
One of the things I like to say is, I mean, you need a coach in all areas of your life.
That's cool.
You know, because whether that's at church, whether that's on the sports field or in athletics, personal fitness, stuff like that. Business. You know, having a mentor, someone to coach you, say, hey, these are systems and strategies that I've been able to put in place.
Absolutely.
You don't need to bash your head against the wall all day and try to figure them out. Like, they're in place. Here you go. So having a coach in life to do that, and then like what you're saying is, you know, on the flip side of that, once you have solidified those ideas, be able to pass those down to people.
Absolutely.
You know, to give back. So
absolutely.
I love it. So thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
It's great.
Again, go follow this guy. You need to do it.